In the early 20th century, the world was changing. Rapid industrialization and technological advancements were transforming societies. Cities swelled with people seeking new opportunities. Amidst this whirlwind of change, a revolutionary architectural movement emerged: Modernism. Architects, inspired by the possibilities of the machine age and a desire to break free from the constraints of the past, sought to create a new architectural language that reflected the spirit of the modern world. Gone were the days of elaborate ornamentation and historical imitation. Modernist architects embraced simplicity, functionality, and innovative materials. Steel, concrete, and glass became the building blocks of a new era, enabling the creation of soaring skyscrapers and light-filled homes. This was a radical departure from the architectural styles of the past, a bold statement that captured the essence of progress and the dynamism of modern life. But modernism was more than just a stylistic shift. It was a fundamental rethinking of the relationship between buildings and the people who inhabited them. Modernist architects believed that buildings should be designed from the inside out, prioritizing the needs of the users and creating spaces that were both functional and aesthetically pleasing. This human-centric approach, coupled with a deep appreciation for the potential of new technologies, gave rise to some of the most iconic and influential buildings of the 20th century. From Lloyd Wright's organic masterpieces to Le Corbusier's utopian visions, modernist architects left an indelible mark on the built environment, shaping the way we live, work, and interact with the world around us. The seeds of modernism were sown in the late 19th century, a time of unprecedented technological advancement and social upheaval. The Industrial Revolution ushered in mass production, making steel and concrete affordable. Cities grew rapidly, and architects sought new ways to house the urban population. Traditional styles were inadequate for modern challenges. Victorian houses with dark interiors seemed out of touch with the desire for light and efficiency. Architecture needed to evolve to meet 20th century needs. Movements like Cubism and Futurism challenged traditional perspectives. The automobile, airplane, and telephone transformed daily life. Architects believed architecture could shape the way people lived. The early 20th century was a time of immense change, a period of rapid industrialization and technological innovation. The spirit of progress permeated every aspect of life, from art and literature to science and technology. New ideas were transforming the way people lived, worked, and interacted with the world. This dynamism was palpable in the burgeoning cities of the era. People flocked to urban centers, leading to unprecedented population growth and city expansion. This urban explosion created an urgent need for new housing and infrastructure. Technological advancements played a pivotal role in shaping the modernist ethos. The mass production of materials like steel and concrete opened up new possibilities for construction. These materials embodied the spirit of the age, a belief in progress and innovation. Social changes contributed to a growing desire for a clean break from the past. The horrors of World War I fueled a rejection of traditional hierarchies. Modernism emerged as a powerful force for change, reflecting the aspirations of a new era. Against this backdrop of rapid change and societal transformation, traditional architectural styles began to feel out of step with the times. The elaborate facades and dark interiors seemed ill-suited to a modernizing world. Critics argued that ornamentation added unnecessary cost and complexity. Modernist architects sought to create buildings that were honest in their use of materials and reflective of the social and technological realities of the 20th century. Out of this fertile ground of social, technological, and artistic ferment, a new architectural language began to emerge, known as modernism. It rejected ornate historicism and embraced the machine age. Modernism emphasized simplicity, functionality, and honest materials. It had a profound impact on the built environment. Modernist architects believed in the beauty of functional objects. They created buildings stripped of unnecessary ornamentation. Form followed function, serving clear purposes. This led to new design principles like open floor plans and large windows. Modernism embraced new materials like steel, concrete, and glass. These materials allowed for taller, lighter buildings. Modernism was an international movement. Architects across Europe and America contributed to its development. Modernism spread its influence far and wide. It was a new way of thinking about architecture and society. At the heart of modernism lay a fundamental principle: form follows function. This idea, attributed to Louis Sullivan, guided modernist architects. It rejected ornamental excesses, embracing purpose-driven design. Function dictated form, with every element serving a clear purpose. Beauty emerged from functional expression and honest materials. Reflecting 20th century social and economic changes, efficiency was key. Buildings met modern needs, performing specific tasks. This principle encouraged fresh design perspectives and innovative spaces. It influenced design thinking in furniture, product design, and typography. The Industrial Revolution ushered in unprecedented technological advancement. Modernist architects embraced new materials like steel, concrete, and glass. Steel allowed for taller, lighter, and more dynamic buildings. It facilitated skyscrapers, altering urban skylines. Reinforced concrete could be molded into any shape. Lloyd Wright used it in his iconic Fallingwater house. Glass became affordable, flooding interiors with natural light. Large glass expanses blurred boundaries between inside and outside. Modernist architects created functional, efficient, and beautiful buildings. Modernism broke from past styles, rejecting ornate historicism. Architects celebrated simplicity, honesty, and material beauty. This was a philosophical shift towards authenticity. Clean lines and geometric forms replaced ornamentation. Buildings were volumes in space, defined by function. Beauty lay in proportions and harmonious elements. Materials were used in their natural state. Concrete, wood, and glass were celebrated for their inherent beauty. This redefined beauty as rooted in functionality and honesty. This simplicity influenced modern design across various fields. The Modernist Revolution transformed interiors, replacing dark, cluttered Victorian spaces with light-filled, open-plan designs. Large windows became a defining feature, allowing natural light to flood the space and blur the boundaries between inside and outside. Modernist architects embraced open-plan living, removing unnecessary walls to create flexible, multifunctional spaces. Furniture was minimalist, chosen for clean lines and functionality, often incorporating new materials like tubular steel and molded plywood. This new approach wasn't just about aesthetics. It aimed to create healthier, more inspiring living environments. The modernist interior was intended to be a sanctuary from the urbanized world, a place to connect with nature and recharge. Lloyd Wright, a visionary American architect, pioneered modern architecture with his organic designs. Wright's philosophy, organic architecture, emphasized harmony between buildings and their natural surroundings. His iconic Fallingwater exemplifies this, with its design growing organically from its site over a waterfall. Wright's buildings featured flowing spaces, low-slung lines, and innovative use of local materials. He believed good design could improve lives, creating functional, comfortable, and beautiful spaces. Wright's influence on modern architecture is undeniable, inspiring architects to create buildings that are both beautiful and sustainable. Le Corbusier, a visionary architect and urban planner, left a lasting impact on modern architecture. Known for his bold, geometric designs and embrace of new technologies, he saw architecture as a tool for social progress. His 5 points of architecture, including pilotis, free facades, ribbon windows, roof gardens, and open floor plans, became cornerstones of modernist design. Le Corbusier's vision of the radiant city proposed high-density residential towers surrounded by green spaces. While his ideas sparked debate, they influenced urban planning and architecture worldwide. His legacy is complex, celebrated for innovation, but also criticized for starkness and scale. Le Corbusier's bold vision and belief in design's power continue to inspire architects today. Ludwig Mies van der Rohe, a master of minimalism, embodied the principle of less is more. His designs featured clean lines, geometric forms, and industrial materials like steel and glass. The Barcelona Pavilion, with its floating roof and free-flowing spaces, is a minimalist masterpiece. Mies's influence extended beyond individual buildings, shaping the Bauhaus movement and modern architecture. His elegant, understated designs continue to inspire architects and designers today. Mies's legacy reminds us that true beauty often lies in simplicity and the honest expression of materials. The Bauhaus, a German art school, was a crucible of creativity and a movement that redefined design. Founded by Walter Gropius, it championed the unity of art, craft, and technology. The Bauhaus emphasized experimentation, collaboration, and understanding materials and manufacturing processes. Its faculty included luminaries like Paul Klee and Wassily Kandinsky, fostering a dynamic environment. The Bauhaus's influence on modern design is immeasurable, shaping architecture, furniture, and graphic design. Despite its short lifespan, the Bauhaus's ideas continue to inspire designers worldwide. Modernism was a multifaceted movement that transcended geographical boundaries. Architects like Oscar Niemeyer in Brazil and Luis Barragán in Mexico adapted modernist principles to their cultural contexts. In Japan, Kenzo Tange and Tadao Ando reconciled modernism with traditional Japanese design elements. In India, Charles Correa and Balkrishna Doshi championed a regionalist approach to modernism. Modernism was a dynamic set of ideas that inspired architects worldwide to create culturally resonant buildings. The story of modernism is a testament to architecture's power to transcend boundaries and innovate. Modernism transformed urban landscapes with new materials, construction techniques, and utopian ideals. Skyscrapers, made possible by steel frame construction and elevators, became symbols of progress. Cities like New York and Chicago were reshaped by these vertical structures. Modernist urban planners emphasized creating livable cities with green spaces and pedestrian-friendly streets. Critics argued that modernism's focus on functionality led to sterile environments. Despite criticisms, modernism's impact on urban design is undeniable. Its principles of functionality and livability continue to influence architects and planners today. Modernism's influence wasn't confined to skyscrapers. It shaped homes, workplaces, and public buildings. The post-war generation embraced functionality, simplicity, and affordability, leading to a new modernist aesthetic in suburbs and public spaces. Modernism's influence continues to resonate today, shaping contemporary architects and designers. Its core principles, functionality, simplicity, and honesty of materials, remain relevant in addressing sustainability and urbanization. Contemporary architects draw inspiration from modernism's iconic buildings and innovative systems. They adapt these principles to 21 century challenges. This has led to new approaches that build on modernism's legacy. Sustainable architecture minimizes environmental impact using renewable energy and passive techniques. Many sustainable buildings draw from modernism's functionality and simplicity. Adaptive reuse repurposes existing buildings, preserving city character. Modernist buildings' flexible plans lend well to adaptive reuse. Modernism's spirit of experimentation and belief in design's power endures. This spirit inspires architects to push boundaries and address contemporary challenges. Modernism's impact on architecture is undeniable. Its principles continue to shape our built environment. Modernism's lessons guide us towards a sustainable and inspiring future. As we've journeyed through the rise of modernism, from its roots in the Industrial Revolution to its global reach, one thing is abundantly clear. It was far more than just a stylistic shift. Modernism was a revolution in how we thought about architecture, its purpose, and its ability to shape our world. It was a bold reaction against the perceived excesses and irrelevance of past styles, a resounding call for buildings that reflected the dynamism and forward-thinking spirit of the 20th century. More than just steel and glass, modernism was about a new way of living and working. It was about open spaces bathed in natural light, promoting collaboration and well-being. It was about buildings that celebrated their purpose, their form meticulously tailored to their function. It was about a belief in the power of design to improve lives, to create spaces that were both aesthetically pleasing and socially responsible. The impact of this architectural revolution is all around us, woven into the fabric of our cities, suburbs, and even the objects in our homes. The clean lines, open floor plans, and functional yet elegant designs that we often take for granted have their roots in the visionary ideas of modernist pioneers. Their legacy isn't just in the iconic buildings they left behind, but in the way they fundamentally changed the way we think about the spaces we inhabit. But modernism's story doesn't end there. Its true significance lies not in dictating a rigid set of rules, but in inspiring generations of architects to question, to innovate, and to continually seek better ways of building our future. Today, as we face new challenges, climate change, rapid urbanization, and a renewed focus on social equity, the spirit of modernism feels as relevant as ever. While some may argue that its stark aesthetic has lost its appeal, the core principles that drove the movement, functionality, sustainability, and a belief in the power of design to effect positive change, remain as vital as ever. Contemporary architects are embracing these principles, adapting them to the needs of the 21st century. We see it in the rise of sustainable design, with buildings that harness natural resources and minimize their environmental impact. We see it in the adaptive reuse of existing structures, breathing new life into old buildings and preserving our architectural heritage. And we see it in the continued exploration of new materials and technologies, pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the pursuit of buildings that are both beautiful and functional. Modernism's legacy isn't about replicating the past. It's about carrying forward its spirit of innovation and social responsibility. It's about creating spaces that are adaptable, sustainable, and accessible to all. Spaces that foster well-being and inspire us to create a better future. So, as we admire the iconic buildings and innovative designs that emerged from the modernist era, let's also remember the spirit that fueled them. A spirit of progress, of social responsibility, and of an unwavering belief in the power of architecture to shape a brighter tomorrow. That spirit, more than any specific style or material, is the true legacy of modernism, an enduring inspiration for generations of architects to come.